prepping. Boom, we are live. Hey, good morning, Ward Wrestling. How is everybody out there today? We are here again. Sorry about, I didn't get the graphics out. That's totally my fault. I have somebody that helps me with that, and my old man kicked in last night, and I fell asleep, and I forgot to send them out till like 4 in the morning. So I sent out the type. I'll get the graphics out later. A few things. First things first, congratulations to the Florida girls. You got sanctioned yesterday, so good for you. That's awesome. Lindsay Dahl has really been busting her ass to do that, so good for her. I know she was wishing it was this year, but at least it's set in stone and we're good to go. With that being said, hey, I'm here with another amazing wrestler in our country. He started for 2 years with the Ohio State. He was a 3-time Ohio State placer and a 1-time Ohio State champ. Again, he started at Ohio State. He is an assistant coach at his alma mater, Liberty High School, which is a long story tradition. I said that right?
Yeah.
And he's an assistant with the great Colin Palmer over at Palmer Wrestling Club. And he's here with us today, and I'm absolutely honored to talk to you, to have you on, and I do appreciate it. How are you, Coach?
Yeah, I'm great. Thanks for having me, man. Any way to grow the sport, right? Just talking about wrestling to me is maybe the most fun thing I do in my life, right? So I know we hit that a little bit in our pregame, that it really is a lifestyle. So any chance to talk to somebody about wrestling is I'm taking it up.
Yeah, man, it's been a blast, and thanks so much. I'm glad we connected. You know, there's nights I spend just sending out messages to people that I think are wrestling, and then they end up being wrestlers. And I got it. So that's good stuff, man. So before we get into kind of your wrestling life, talk a little bit about what we just went through and kind of how it affected your life. And now I think you had some good news for us. You guys opened up yesterday. So what's been going on up there in the Ohio State area?
Yeah, so I know a lot of places aren't open yet. We don't have any schools or anything open, but we were able to get a small group of our club guys going. So we had to split groups, make it a long practice. We're in the back of a warehouse. It's hot as hell, but any chance to get on the mat, you know, most of our guys haven't been on the mat for 3 months, and I'm assuming that's how it is everywhere. So any chance to get on the mat is good.
Yeah, I mean, I have a great idea for the clubs that are saying that, you know, all these clubs, the new regulation, you can't have parents in the room typically, right? Right now, it's got to be parents out of the room and kids in the room. So I think that in the parking lot, these clubs need to set up beer tents. And I think a beer tent would really keep the parents from occupying the inside of the gym.
We had a dad bring a cooler last night. And he was just sitting on his tailgate ripping it up. I wanted to join him, but I'm not allowed to do that, unfortunately.
Yeah, like the kids in the old day, you know, a bucket of KFC and some beer. I think that would keep the parents under the tent. I like it. I like it. Well, cool, man. It's glad to hear the rooms are starting to open up. I know my son is part of CFWA, and I know we talked a little bit about that. You and Colin come down and do some club stuff down here with them, and they sent out an email beginning of the week just stating that they're getting things ready, and you know, they're tied into a prep school, so they got to kind of bob and weave there a little bit and make sure that everybody's kosher. So you're at Liberty. That was your alma mater. That's where you're an assistant coach now. It looked like it had a long story tradition, a long story history. It looked like it's been there a long time. So talk a little bit about what it means to be back in your alma mater and the culture, its history, and what goes on there.
Yeah, man. The school was built in 2003. So it's not a super old school. My head coach, Mark Marinelli, took it over in 2006, 2007, I think. So he was longtime head coach at DeSales, had that program, a national powerhouse. They were runner-up to Graham at the state tournament like 6-7 times when he was the head coach. So he's a hell of a coach. He had his first state champ in 2012 at Liberty. And then it just started snowballing. So my freshman year was 13-14. I think we got 13th or 14th at state that year. And then sophomore year, we got 9th. And then third, fifth, maybe something like that. So we put probably 12 guys Division I in the last 5 years.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Last year we graduated 2 number ones in the country, Carson Karchla and Connor Brady. So we're just really kicking out high-level wrestlers right now.
Man, that's great. So the program is getting there. I was watching some movie that I found on YouTube that was with the Palmers at some school, but they were talking about 2 local high schools. Was that one of them?
Maybe, who knows? So the movie the Palmers did was called Penned.
Yeah, and they talked about 2 schools.
That was following Colin and Lance when they were in high school together. They were only together 1 year, senior year, freshman year, and it was Lakewood St. Edwards versus Lakewood local high school.
Okay, I remember because I remember there was a local high school there.
So that's actually a pretty cool movie. It's a good watch. Follows the Palmers, obviously, which I love, but it kind of shows the differences between going to a place like St. Ed's, which is a perennial powerhouse, and then going just to the local high school and the differences that you get.
It's funny because I've had Eric Cutterly on.
Yeah.
And I saw this guy on there named something Cutterly, a coach.
Yeah.
I sent him a picture and he's like, "Yeah, that's my dad." I knew his dad coached because I had him on here and he said that he coaches for his dad. But it's pretty funny now that I've talked to people and I'm watching some of these shows and I'm like, "Hey, I talked to that guy. That's cool."
You're getting it, man.
So that's cool, man. So I know one thing that you're very passionate about is that Palmer home.
Yeah.
Palmer Club and what you do there. I've had the pleasure of meeting Colin. I've had him on the show. Real super nice guy. Talk about his club, his culture, what you guys have going on there. How can people get Palmer and Brakan Mead down into their gyms nationwide? I saw he was just traveling around the country somewhere.
He was just in Washington, yeah.
Yeah, so talk a little bit about that and then what you guys do.
Yeah, so Colin was my club coach, actually. So when Colin was 21, he got hurt, couldn't wrestle anymore, decided that trying to wrestle in college and go to school and stuff when you have a broken back and broken neck doesn't really work that well. So he started his own club, and there was about 8 of us that were there from the start. So I'm as OG Palmer as they come. So, we started the club in the back of a freaking printing shop. So it was a great time. I'm pretty sure I left every practice high, but I obviously, yeah, exactly. I went to high school. I tried to go, but when you're wrestling 5 days a week, it's tough to get in there and bang around with the club members. And then once I got to Ohio State, I was rolling with him and coaching a little bit with him. And then last year was 2 years ago was my sophomore year of high school or college was my first year full-time assisting. I think we run the best club in the country. Obviously I'm probably biased, but I think we take a very systematic approach we do 10 to 12 attacks on our feet. The boot series is bar none. There's nobody in the country who runs a better boot series than we do. I think that's a proven track record at this point. So we, and the gist of things is we try to make killers, right? We hand fight hard. I see a lot of clubs that don't really emphasize that, especially at the youth, middle school level. If you can get an aggressive kid who can have heavy hands in a hand fight, he's going to win a lot of matches based on that.
Yeah, talk about that a little bit. That makes me come to you and say, I've been told by other guys at your level that when you transition from the high school level to the college level, that you better know how to hand fight, or you're about to learn how to hand fight. Because they tell me at the college level, that's something that's very important. Is that true?
Yeah, 100%. So being at Ohio State, being a 125 pounder, my drill partner was Nathan Tomasello or NATO. So Nate has some of the heaviest hands in the world at 57 kilos. And I'm not saying that I was prepared for those hands because I don't think anybody can be prepared, but I never died. So that's a good thing. So I really do think that Colin's hand fighting really pushed me in the right direction to understanding the college feel at a young age. Because once you get in there, if you don't know what those bear paws are going to feel like on these 24-year-old guys, you're going to find out fast.
Yeah, and that's what I've had people repeat the same thing. So I don't know why we're all hazy right now, but that's okay as long as we can get heard, right? Do you have us live?
Do I? Yeah.
Do we look hazy on yours, or is it just?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay, so maybe just my computer.
Have you heard it? Like, have you listened to it? I'm making sure you're not getting feedback.
No, I'm doing fine.
All right, cool.
I looked down and I saw a little fuzzy. I was like, hey, I wonder how we're doing.
Making sure.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's awesome. That's what I heard. So being an Ohio kid, born and bred, what did it mean to you to be a Buckeye?
Yeah, so from Columbus too. So I'm really hometown. I went to high school. Liberty's 20 minutes up the road. So it's to me it was like the childhood dream, right? To be a Buckeye. And I never really had super high level success in youth and middle school. I got 8th and 5th grade, and I got 6th and 8th grade at state. So those are the only 2 times I ever placed. You see a lot of these guys who are like 6, 7 time state champs before they even hit high school. I wasn't that kid. I didn't really turn the curve until I met Colin in 7th grade. So Colin's obviously a very large part of my success. But no, it was a childhood dream. And then Coach Ryan's son went to my high school. Coach Roselli's son was my drill partner. So there was a very big in to Ohio State. So when you pair a little bit of success, which I had in high school, with the connection of Tom coming to all our duels, Lou being at everything because his son wrestles at 120, the weight class above me, it just made a lot of sense for me to stay home. The RTC, our training center, if you get top 4 at state, you're allowed to wrestle there in high school. So I started training with the Buckeyes when I was a sophomore in high school. So I was a 15-year-old kid, and they all took me in like I was a little brother. So it made so much sense to be a Buckeye.
Oh, good for you, man. And
Thanks.
It's great to hear, when you talk to some young men, they have a dream, they fulfill it, and they get to walk out on that mat. It wasn't the Covelli Center then, right? Or whatever.
It wasn't. No, we were still at St. John's.
Yeah.
But we wrestled our big matches at the Shot. So we had Iowa at the Shot, which was massive. Minnesota at the Shot, big duel.
Nice. Yeah, Iowa's getting around now. And I was talking to somebody with Chattanooga, and they said they're coming down to there this year. I know Princeton had them in. So,
yeah.
Man, that's awesome. Just to, hey, you're a Buckeye, right?
Yes, sir.
So talk about why they say wrestling is life and not just a sport.
Yeah, for me, again, I obviously probably biased to this, but I think wrestling's the greatest sport in the world. I think a lot of my peers would probably say the same thing. But the big thing with wrestling is you don't have to be the best in the world to love it, right? And you don't really have to have much success to want to do it. So when you get into this, the grind is what I'm going to use. When you get into the grind, you can't take the grind half-ass. You can't half-ass the grind, or else you feel guilty. It's super easy to it's only you. So you have to hold yourself fully accountable for every decision you make, whether that is sleep, nutrition, the extra run in the morning, the bad weight cut. You have to hold yourself fully accountable for all that stuff. So if your life slips up, then your results are going to slip up too. And one of the things that I preach to our kids are if your lifestyle doesn't match your goals, then you need to change one or the other. You need to bring back your goals a little bit. If you want to be a state champ, and you're out partying on the weekends, maybe you want to get eighth this year, right? So if your lifestyle doesn't match your goals, you need to change your goals. You need to change your lifestyle.
That's
Yeah.
that's awesome, man. And so talk about your career a little bit, and what was your most memorable moment on the mat?
Yeah. So high school, I got second, third, first in that order. I probably should have been a three-timer maybe, but it didn't work out that way, right? I was winning in the finals as a sophomore, got stuck. I was up 3-0 in the semis as a junior, going into the third, and got taken down twice, overtime taken down to a kid I beat at our holiday tournament. So I was lined up to be maybe a three-timer, but I honestly believe if I won, I probably wouldn't have went to Ohio State. I would have been recruited a little more heavily from other schools and probably would have taken a good offer to somewhere else far away, right? So it happened right. I got into college. I won a state title at 113 in March of 2017, and I was starting 125-pounder at Ohio State November of 2017. So I never thought it was going to happen like that. I committed to Ohio State on a hunch that I may never be big enough, may never be good enough to start. I know the talent in the room. I know the talent that's always been in the room. I was never a NATO. I was never a Logan Stieber. I was never that good. I never had those type of credentials. So I kind of committed on a hunch that, hey, I may never start, but I'm going to go train with the best guys in the world. And if I don't get better, I don't get better. It wasn't meant to be.
You got to wear the singlet.
I got to wear the singlet. Yes, sir.
And you got a good drill partner, so that had to help.
I had a plethora of good drill partners, right? So true freshman year, NATO got hurt towards ACL, and I won my wrestle off against a really good wrestler. He made a U23 world team this year for Greco. He got beat in the senior finals as a junior in college. I mean, the guy's unbelievable at Greco. So I won my wrestle off, got thrown right into the fire, right? And I loved every minute of it, right? Hometown kid, hometown crowd. It was great. NATO came back in early January, so I started for more or less of 2 months, and then I popped in when he didn't want to make weight or whatever. And then sophomore year, I probably went 10-10 as a true freshman in the Big Ten in the lineup. Sophomore year, I lost my wrestle off to Malik Henselman, another just amazing wrestler. I lost 5-4. He was redshirting, so they decided that 5-4, throw me out there. It's not that much of a difference to try to let Malik make the tournament and make an AA run. So I had a couple bad matches, and it got to where I wasn't performing to where I needed to be in the lineup at Ohio State. So they pulled Malik and put him out there against Indiana, and he beat a really good kid. He beat Elijah Oliver, and he had a great season. He was really kicking on all cylinders, and I wasn't. And somewhere in there, my passion for competing at the highest level just kind of fizzled out. And I decided that what was best for me was to follow my passion, which is coaching and helping the next generation, instead of trying to hold on to my career that wasn't going anywhere in my mind.
Sure. And here you are today, working at a great club, a great school, and giving back to a sport that gave you so much. So that's amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
Living the dream, man. Living the dream.
Yeah, I love it, man. I got these 10 questions for you. Ready? And like I said before, I haven't shared this anywhere, so I'll tag you and I'll tag everything on here, but you can share it through your Palmer, Ohio, that stuff you want. Ohio State football or wrestling?
Wrestling.
All right, the Horseshoe or the Covelli Center?
The Horseshoe. This is kind of messed up, man.
Yeah, Max.
This is like mom or dad. Which one do you pick? And it's messed up.
Max and Irma's or Burger Theory?
Max and Irma's.
Pizza Rustica or OH Pizza?
OH Pizza.
The zoo or the aquarium?
The zoo, for sure.
All right, peanut butter Buckeyes or Buckeye cookies?
Peanut butter Buckeyes, no doubt.
Cedar Point or Kings Island?
Kings Island.
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or the NFL Hall of Fame?
NFL Hall of Fame, no doubt.
All right, here it is. I hope they're not listening. Colin or Lance?
Colin. Sorry, Lance. Love you, but Colin.
That's awesome. Awesome. And oh man, I think I only did 9. I got to do a 10th.
Oh,
Burgers or wings?
wings for sure.
All right, good. Why did I not have a 10th there? That's funny. Oh well. You guys got a really good hockey team up there in Columbus. I remember when I was working with BMW, we came up there twice. But I know one of the trips that I wasn't on, they took them over to see the hockey team you guys have there locally. It's supposed to be really good.
And in the gist of things, we're really good at everything.
I know. I still feel like you cheated when you got the national championship from Miami.
Oh man, in 02?
I'm gonna go to my grave. No, I gotta say, we lost that game. There's the hurricane there, stepping on the gator. We lost that game, but I gotta say that it's probably one of the best football games I ever watched.
Did you go?
No, I was in Philadelphia at the time with my wife. She was in school. And what was it, like 02, right?
Yeah, 02.
And man, I remember watching that. Man, that Miami team, people say that might be the best college football team of all times. Those 3 or 4 years that they had there, that run. They had McGahee and Gore, and oh man, they were just packed. But you guys had that running back, man. He was just a horse.
Maurice.
Yeah, Maurice Claret. I hear good things, and I hear that he turned a corner in life and he's doing well, and that's good.
Yeah, he lives with us actually at Coach Myers, our strength and conditioning coach at Ohio State. He lives with him out of his gym.
Really good for him, man.
He's around a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, good. Man, let's get him on.
Let's get him on.
Hell yeah, let's get him on. I'm down. I'll bust his child. I'll be like, hey, look, I'm a Kane, but I like to hear the story. No, I'd love to talk to him. That's a kid that, you love to hear a story from somebody who had everything, had nothing, had everything again. You know what I mean? Like,
life hit him fast for sure, man.
Yeah, and his story is good.
Yep, he really turned it around. He's got a few companies now. He's got a big shipping company in Columbus. So he's doing good.
Yeah, man, I'd love to have him on. That'd be great. Other than that, this has been great.
It's been awesome, man. Thanks for having me. Go Bucks, right?
Yeah, go Bucks, right? I got.
Oh man, you're in dangerous territory saying that.
And then you had Urban Meyer there. Oh, I don't know what team was better, the Bucks with Meyer or the old Bucks. Man, they had the tradition there with those coaches.
We've had a really good last 5-6 years with the Bucks. That's for damn sure.
So what I went back. What do you think? What do you think Ohio State wrestling has to do to get back as a team championship?
It's super tough because we're in a time where Penn State is so damn good. Man, I hate to it pains me to say, but my true freshman year, 2017, we had NATO, Bojo, Snyderman. We had a group that wins the national championship any other year of almost the history, and we get second. It's just we're so good, and they were just better than us.
Yeah, it was weird because I was going through Ohio State wrestling history because I'm trying to look for 10 questions for you and stuff.
Yeah.
So, whenever I have someone on, I look in their area and I'm going, only one title all these years? Yeah. I know you've had several individuals, but I was just like, man, I thought there was more, but it's like almost every year, second, third. Yeah.
It's crazy. We can win a Big Ten title though.
Yeah, like nobody's business, right?
We have 3 in the last 5 years. We beat Penn State at Bigs, and they beat us at Nationals. That's how it went for 3-4 years in a row.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I wanted to take my son to, I think you guys were at Penn State this year, and he's never been to, neither have I, to a match like that.
Yeah,
I really want to get him up to, but it was like crazy.
we got our bricks beat in too. So don't take
No,
it.
and I thought, man, I need to wait till they're in Columbus where I can come up and
Come up, man. I'll get you tickets.
yeah, man, for sure. We'll do it next year. Let me know. Because
100%.
it's so much easier to get to Columbus than it is to.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was more expensive. It was like $400 a ticket, and then it was to try to get an airplane ticket into there, and then I was like, "Damn, wrestling matches are what happened to like $30 tickets?" They're like, "You're crazy. This is Penn State, Ohio State. That's like football." It's
Nuts.
I couldn't believe it. Yeah, for sure, man. We're gonna have to go out to Columbus and check you guys out. But hey, Brakan, Coach, thank you so much for coming on. It's an
Yeah,
honor.
thanks for having me. It's been a blast, man.
Yeah, man. Anybody you know, man, shoot him my number. I'll hit him up.
100%. Sounds good.
All right, brother. You take it easy.
You too. Thanks, man.